Has you felt or heard any of the outside narrative about you guys being a vulnerable number one seed, or maybe some
Being too
teams
young, right?
lining up? Yeah.
It's not going to change. We're still young. We'll probably be young for another 4 or 5 years. We don't worry about it. We focus on what goes on in these four walls.
This was the score at the midway point of the third quarter, and this was the score at the end of the game. Sound it out with me. Consistent.
How are you just so consistent, like the Tide, night in and night out?
My whole life is consistent. Everything I do, from what I eat to when I sleep to my recovery, everything's consistent. And it's a routine for me at this point.
I'm talking about very consistent play from this young Thunder squad in the opening round of this year's playoffs, and I gotta say, when electric plays happen, this OKC crowd turns up to another level.
Wallace off that baseline. Open inside. Jackhammer. Jalen Williams.
With this team having many weapons on the floor to use, when you see plays like this, you probably think it's a simple connection for the Dort 3, but the reason he becomes open isn't a coincidence. When Jalen Williams is coming off this screen from Chet, with him being able to drive the ball or create a look for himself in that mid-range area so well, this makes Valanciunas slide with him to take away any look, but since Marshall commits to the double team, this forces Ingram to rotate up to Chet, but on the backside, Hayward is going to cut to the basket, which pulls Jose down low away from Dort, and after all these defensive rotations, it's a straight money ball. These looks become open a lot due to the Thunder having many guys who can put pressure on the rim, so when Shai mixes up Trey Murphy to then push towards the basket, he attracts the attention of 3 Pelican defenders, so with a wide open kick out to Giddey in the corner, if he can knock these down at a decent rate throughout the playoffs, it'll be something that makes them more deadly. That rim pressure is so key because not only will it make the defense collapse more often, but when you have shooters posted up ready to shoot, it can give the defense a long night. The most simple high pick and roll has been causing the Pelicans many issues just being a step behind, so when Chet pops off this screen, Valanciunas is too slow and yells for Ingram to rotate, but it's far too late and it's an easy knockdown. If Ingram would have rotated on that last play, then it would have gave Dort a wide open 3, and he definitely has learned his lesson before by trying to help over and stop that Chet drive, but when you leave a confident shooter, well, just go ahead and throw 3 points on the board. Not only can Dort contribute offensively, but with him having the task of guarding the Pelicans' best player on the floor in Brandon Ingram, he's right in his grill to make things as hard as possible. As a whole, this team has bought in on the defensive end, as just when you think you're gonna get an easy one in transition, well, you better think twice as the swarm is coming at you to quickly force that turnover. Your best player can sit down on the defensive end to apply some clamps to get the steal going the other way. And if one of the guards happen to get broken pass, well, that's where Chet can come in to protect the house with that block 19. Now yes, we all know that Chet can be bullied in the paint at times, which allows bigs to get exactly where they want to score, but the thing is, Chet isn't just going to keep allowing that, so with his length, he can take these hits head on and can still get up with you to send your shot back. Try all you want, but Chet's defensive versatility is incredible as he can stop the drive going towards the right, hop and plant to take away any floater over the top, and then turn quickly to get fingertips on this Alvarado attempt inside. It's key to have someone who can be disciplined inside and delete shots in close because it'll give you some sense of security on that back line, and when you pair that with his offensive ability, this is why Chet shines so much. With Valanciunas guarding him, he has the major advantage when it comes to fluidity on the offensive end, so when coming up the floor here, Shai sets the screen on Valanciunas, which allows Chet to flare out into a wide open 3, and now you must pay up. In all honesty, JB's reaction timing is way too slow to be guarding Chet, so when Holmgren slips this ghost screen to go to the basket, you can clearly see that Valanciunas is still processing what's going on, and now the barbecue is wide open for you to go grab a plate. By being able to score on all levels, this makes every game tough for Valanciunas, because even if he does stay with Chet all the way to the rim, well, here comes this spin away from the basket, and over the top he'll shoot, and the ball lands right in the hoop. Real smooth, real buttery, and with Chet, he doesn't just pick on slower footed bigs, because if you happen to throw a slightly smaller, quicker guy on him, we can deliver the same move to them and still get the same results. Holmgren has shown us that he isn't afraid of the moment as he's putting up buckets right over the defense. If needed, he can get aggressive and move you out the way to score the ball inside, and with Holmgren putting himself in the right spots on the floor, when the defense goes to help Jalen Williams on this drive, the dump off is seamless and Chet slams it through with 2. The chemistry between these two is lethal because if the initial drive off the pick and roll isn't available, then the second option for the 3 ball will be, and if J-Dub ends up getting that switch, well, he can straight up cook Valanciunas and sink this short little fade over the top. This is something OKC can go to often because with many guys that can operate in space to go create a look for themselves, if they get the switch onto a slower footed big, then it's nothing but straight cash. J-Dub is one of those guys that can put tremendous pressure on the defense with his slashing, and in this series so far, we've seen the Thunder push the pace, just getting easy buckets at the other end. Having many guys who can take the ball and get up the floor quickly is a major advantage, because with a big like Chet who can space the floor, this pulls the only rim protector out the paint, so Giddey can now take McCollum all the way to the bucket for the finish. The fast break creates these cross matches where Dort now has Nance on him, who tried to tell Ingram to step up so he could then rotate down. But with confident shooters, you can't give him this large gap of space because now his bombs away. Like I've said before, this Thunder team has too many weapons, so you can't afford to sleep on them, because if you do, then your ankles just might get snatched, and with the Thunder's ball movement, they'll find themselves a wide open look at the basket. All of this value we've discussed has came from everyone outside of the MVP candidate and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and when we discuss what he has brought to the series so far, it takes things to another level. Just like the pace I was discussing, the Thunder are already attacking, only being 6 seconds into their possession, and since Shai can get to the basket so well, when he stops on a dime and rises up, McCollum is stuck in that quicksand and watch the ball fall through the bucket. With Shai being able to drive so well, it'll make defenders bite on almost every move, so with this simple stunt as if he's gonna attack, it makes Murphy take a step back while Shai takes a step back of his own, and then the 3-point shot is butter.
Alexander, step back dribble. That looked good from the moment he left it from our advantage.
If you start to pay close attention now going forward, you'll see it with all of his setups that they're highly effective because the defense bites on his every move, which now gives him space and opportunity to rise up comfortably for that jumper. Defenses will start to send extra guys to stop him from getting to the rack, but with Shai being highly aware, he can stop before running into the double, give Ingram a slight bump, and then fade away from the defense for 2 points. If the double does come aggressively to force the ball out of his hands, well yeah, you might get him to pass it away, but at what cost? Because now since Giddey cut to the rim, this pulls Valanciunas into the paint, leaving Chet wide open, and what would have probably been 2 points from Shai turns into a 3-pointer from Holmgren. Having all this gravity is extremely valuable because it makes the defense shift completely, and look what opens up, a Giddey warm-up lay inside. Every team needs a guy who can command this much defensive attention because it opens up lanes to attack or wide open looks outside. And as we all know, players like this only get this much attention because they can score the ball so well. Shai can hit you with that stun gun when en route to the basket to then pull up right over you. With his patience, he can stay calm when surrounded by 3 defenders and still rise up to knock down the 15-footer. And with his insane craftiness and focus, Shai can connect on this and one in the clutch.
By McCollum. Chisels into the paint, flicks it up and contact.
This Thunder squad is exciting and putting everyone on notice that they are legit threats. With many weapons to go to and a young, vibrant energy, the sky is truly the limit for this team. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe before heading out. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.